sometimes in life, you just have to do it. It's simple as that. You just have to just get the practice in, just get it done, and you can do the things that you want to do in life. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Scalia. It's been a long time. But I really want to share my opinion on what I've been up to for the past several months and the stuff that I've learned on my writing journey. Because I've mentioned before in my first video, Turn Burdens to Motivations, that I'm a writer. That is what I've transmuted my motivations to. And I wanted to share what I've learned writing 5 screenplays. So the first thing is writer's block doesn't exist. So I think a lot of artists and writers, musicians, producers, people within the realm of art, right? They have this notion that they get a block or they can't do it right yet. They're not ready yet. They haven't caught the inspiration for it yet. But the key is to not get some inspiration. The key is not to get motivation. The key is to just start, to just do it. This sparked me for a long time. Because I started writing when I was like 12, 13, but I didn't really finish anything. I never actually carried out with that. But to be honest, I wasn't really doing many productive things at 13. I don't think most of us were. But this was the main thing that I knew that I wanted to do with my life. And it wasn't until last year, 2020, when I was inspired by my favorite YouTuber, Tyler Mowery. I'll probably put his video on the screen that inspired me, but he's just awesome. And he kind of showed me that this concept of writer's block doesn't exist. And you just have to just start. And stop being scared that you're going to write something bad, because you're going to write bad. But that's okay. Just keep writing. 2, know how much you're going to write each day. So this was a big problem for me when I moved on from writing a novel to screenplays, was I didn't really know how to stay consistent. So I knew that I had to write consistently. So I knew that part, that I had to write daily and the same time every day. But that wasn't so easy to achieve. Sometimes I would write in the crack of dawn. Sometimes I would write when I just had free time between class. And then some nights I would just write at like 9 p.m. and then finish at 11. And that was never fun. And then times would be like, so I would write 10 pages a day, 5 pages a day, 2 pages, 1 page, half a page, no pages. I would skip 3 days. And that's not how you have to be. You have to stay consistent with what you want to do and stay with it the entire time. And then once you actually, find out how much you have to write, then once you hit that mark, each and every single day, you will see the progress. I heard this Joe Rogan podcast where he was talking with this guy who did a Brazilian jiu-jitsu and boxing and stuff, and he said it's all about volume, not intensity. And I think that can be translated to writing as well. Is we don't have to just go hard every day. Don't crank out your max 20 pages. You can do that when you have a free weekend, or when you're on break or something, or when you just are on vacation or something. But just get the volume out. Just get the pages out. The key for me was to find that sweet spot. The sweet spot of, so I feel accomplished, but I haven't burned myself out. And my golden spot is 6 pages. And I think your job with your writing is to find out how much you can write each day. And that will be perfect. The next thing, don't get so attached to your stories. Now, this is a really hard thing to do. I personally struggle with this mainly because I wanted my first story to be my magnum opus. The first thing that I wrote was going to be published. This never happened. This like a year later now, and I have written so many other things since then. And so I moved on to an entirely new medium, screenplays. And I think that yes, you're going to pour your heart and soul out to these stories, these characters. These characters will be parts of you. That's just that's just a given. But you have to learn that you can't put so much emphasis on these characters, because you're gonna have to learn from your stories. You have to make bad art to make good art, right? You have to make bad stories and not like leave these stories to die and rot, but just learn from them and then go write something else. So then you'll have the skills to come back later. The fourth thing that I learned was the importance of finishing. So that same guy that I mentioned who inspired me to start writing again, Tyler Mowery, he was the one who practically put this within my mind, the importance of finishing. It was like what I said before. You have to make something bad to make something good. One thing that I noticed when I was younger, in my teenage years, when I was writing more like 14 to 16, is I didn't finish one story. Not one story would be written. I would maybe write like a couple scenes, or would make some characters, draw some characters, but nothing would actually be finished. Nothing would actually come to fruition, and a whole story from beginning to end would be made. And to actually learn from your mistakes, you have to just keep going. You have to just keep making, keep creating. And that's the key to just pretty much anything, to writing, to basketball, to math, to cooking, like just anything. You learn from doing. You don't learn from clogging your mind with story theory or watching a bunch of YouTube videos on how to create characters, how to create a story arc, how to structure your screenplay, how to hit certain story beats. And that's not the way. You learn by having those fundamentals up here. Yes, you need to know how to create characters and create arcs and all that stuff, but you won't truly learn how to do it until you actually do it. And I think that's what I have come to learn over these past 5 screenplays, and really delve into this craft. 5, last thing, why I'm even doing this. And I think this has to be a personal question for you. This has to be that intrinsic motivation that is driving you to do this, because nobody chooses to be a writer or a filmmaker or an artist, a musician, or just anything creative for that matter, just because they need money or because they feel like they have to, that this is for survival, that this is what they have to do. No, they do it because they truly want to, and that this is their calling. That's the whole reason why it's called a calling. It is because it is calling to you. Writing has always called to me, and that's why I choose to do it. That I sacrifice the free time that I would waste on video games and hanging out with people that didn't really want me there, or worrying about life or something, because I sacrifice this time to do what I really love. And sure, I could just be watching Netflix and playing Fortnite so when I'm done with school and stuff, but I choose not to. I choose to write and to make new stories and to learn about filmmaking, to learn about screenwriting, because I truly love it, and I will use my last amount of energy just to get something done that's related to it, because I love it so much. And this comes from the space where I felt like that I had no voice, that my voice was taken from me when I was a kid. And I dealt with stuttering and feeling this sense of inadequacy for my entire life. And I didn't really know what was going to fix it. And the only thing that felt right and that felt like that was mine and that could actually share and give people value was from writing. So I see potential to help people that need to understand how I have felt and that they can relate to that. Because that's what so many movies have done for me. 50/50, District 9, Silent Voice. Those movies truly teach you things, and they truly, have lessons and have morals to them, and that's why we watch them. And I still remember when I was a kid and my dad took me to the movies, we went to go see The Amazing Spider-Man 1, and it said written by. And from that day, I knew that I wanted to be that person that was in the credits, that showed up there, that said written by, because somebody truly made the story. My belief is that filmmaking is a collective process, but the seed is planted by the person who writes the script. Because without the script, there's no story. So you make the movie when you have the story. That you're in control because you did it. Sure, people bring it to life, but you wrote it, and I want to do that. So with that being said, bro, I want to make more writing videos like this and more, videos about writing and about, the mental side of writing. 'Cause I think that is that I can provide to YouTube within the writing space. There's so many people making videos about, practicality or, story theory, but I think that I can provide a place of mental clarity and, doubts as a writer and, these sort of things. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next one. So know the truth, speak the truth. It's Scalia, signing off.